About how to avoid scams on used boats. Ronald Reagan's trust but verify. Most people out in the world are good, honest people. The thing is that not everybody is, and some people just don't know. They're trustworthy people, but they just don't know any better. So let's start with the trust but verify concept on serial numbers. It's one of the most important things to confirm because, again, this is one where it's likely they're not trying to pull a fast one. Maybe they are, but identifying that hull identification number and getting a pencil tracing or just taking a picture of that placard. It's on the starboard side on the transom. So on the stern of the starboard side, you can see that image right there. There's a little plaque there somewhere in this vicinity. It might be on the actual side of the boat, but it's going to have a serial number, and this is kind of the decoder ring. Is the first 3 or 4 letters are going to be the manufacturer's identification code. So you can plug that right into Google and say, hey, SERV, what is that? And that's going to be Sea Ray. There's going to be a decoder there. Then the next 4 or 5 is going to be the hull serial number. So what number did they identify that hull with at the factory? The next 2 are the date of manufacture. And then the last 2 are the model year. So '06 is going to be 2006. If you have something that's before, when did they make the switch? There was a time, like it's going to be in the 70s or 80s, where that year number may not be exactly at 7-4. But for most boats, you're going to be able to tell the year with those last 2 digits. So that's the boat identification number. That's the hull of the boat. Now, if you have a outboard, the outboard has its own serial number. You can see it's located. There's a couple of places. This is usually the easiest to find. It's located kind of on the engine mount, and it looks a sticker kind of like that. And then when you look at it, it's going to have the serial number, the year of manufacture, maybe the actual month and year. They changed it to just year a handful of years ago, and the model of the outboard. So sometimes your boat will be a 2017, your motor will be a 2016. So you can confirm that based on this little tag right here. And it's very common for an outboard for the hull number to be 1 year and the engine number to be another. Even straight from the factory, this can happen if they have an overload of engines. They've got some 2016s left. They'll hang those until they run out, and then they'll move to the next year. 2021, it's still happening. They're going to be hanging 2021 or 2020 motors on 2021 boats. And so you can confirm that. It's even more important on a used boat in case they've repowered, in case there's some funny business going on, that they've put a different motor on there, and they're saying that the boat and motor are the same. You want to check that, and then also check the serial number. Again, take a picture of it and write it down so you've got the exact serial number. And I'll tell you what we're going to do with that in just a little bit. Now, if it's a stern drive, the engine will have a serial number, the transom will have a serial number, and the drive will have a serial number. Now, the best place to find this on a stern drive is going to be on the flame arrestor cover, and it will be right there somewhere. There's a couple other stickers on the engine, the frame of the engine, and there will also be a few places where it's actually cast into the engine block number is cast into the metal. So again, you want to write all of these down, because if the engine blew and they had to put a new engine in, you'll want to have that serial number with you. One, it's going to help you if you ever need parts. 2, you want to make sure that you know exactly what you're buying. So you can see the engine serial number, which is the most important, the transom number, and the drive number. And that drive number will be for the stern drive, that actual out drive hanging off the back of the boat. So that's what those are for. Now, we also may have a trailer. If you have a trailer, you could have 3 identification numbers that are very important. The haul identification number, the engine serial number if it's an outboard, and the trailer serial number. And in some states, you need to register all 3. So if you don't have that information, or there's a number transposed or a number missed or something's wrong, that can be a major problem. Now, on the trailer, there's a VIN, a vehicle identification number. You can see that right here. Whoa. Let's go back to the vehicle identification number, the model of the trailer, and then the gross weight of the trailer. So how much can this trailer hold? What's the weight of the trailer total, and then what's the capacity of the trailer? So each axle can carry 5,200 pounds. The middle axle, 5,200 pounds. The rear axle, 5,200 pounds. So that gets you to the 15,600 pounds. And then you can figure out, okay, what kind of boat can we put on this? It also tells you the pressure for the tires. But the most important number is to write down that trailer vehicle identification number and match that up. Some states don't register or don't title trailers. Well, if you're taking it like South Carolina and you're taking it into Tennessee, that could be a major problem, especially if there's something wrong with the serial numbers. You definitely want to check that out. It could be a scam. It could be they're trying to put a different trailer under that boat, or a stolen trailer, and you need to find these things out because they certainly can be scams. Now, here's one that I experienced firsthand. I just helped my friend. He's looking at buying a $25,000 used deck boat for his family that's up by his son's college. So we found this boat. The pictures look great. He showed me this one online. He would like to keep it in the water. Looks like brand new fresh bottom paint. They've got the nice shiny hull. It looks great. All of the pictures, there are over 200 pictures on this listing, and they all looked exceptionally clean and good. Now, what happens? We get to the boat, and this is what we find. So the scam here is the pictures that you see on your listing may be from years ago. So this boat, I promise you, has not been out of the water for at least a year. There's no way this picture was taken within the last couple of months of this boat being listed. So, of course, we go in assuming we're going to find a nice, clean boat. Maybe it needs a detail. Maybe it needs to be scrubbed up a little bit. But what we actually walk up on is a boat that has a lot of deferred maintenance. It's taken on water on the sea trial. Compression was good, but there were so many other factors about the boat, rips and repairs in the upholstery. It was something I told him, walk away. This is going to be a money pit. And it was represented by a brokerage firm. She was there, and she just couldn't understand why we wanted to walk away from this boat, and was pushing and pushing and pushing. She didn't want to let us pull it out and pull a boat and do an inspection on the hull, pull the drive, check the gimbal bearing because it had been in the water for a while. These are all things that are red flags of maybe a scam, maybe a unknowing salesperson. Maybe, hey, I didn't have a good profile picture, so I used the other one. But either way, you got to be on the lookout and be prepared. You may want to even ask, hey, how old are these pictures? When were they taken? Can you send me a recent picture, like from the last week or so, so you're not, especially if you're driving, so you're not wasting your time. Scams. Another way to avoid a scam, this is real easy, and this is just valuable to have regardless, is before you write that check, get a picture of the person's ID. Match up the name on the ID with the name on the title of each of titles that you have, the name on the registration for the boat, motor, trailer. All of those things are going to help you avoid a scam. And then look at the picture of Joe Sample and say, yes, this looks like Joe Sample that's actually in front of me. And if there's anything that's off, addresses, images, and then the name to each of the pieces of paper, that is key to avoiding a scam. The other way to avoid a scam is just like we did with that Sea Ray, is hey, a detail could have cleaned up the exterior. Now, it would have been an extra $2,000 to have that boat detailed, but if the boat was clean and everything checked out, and we could have pulled it and checked the gimbal bearing and checked the bellows, hey, maybe it would have made sense. But without that sea trial, we wouldn't have discovered that it was taking on water and there was water pushing up into the gear lube. Do not buy a boat unless you have a chance to put it on the water, and more than just running it on earmuffs, actually put it on the water, put it under a load, and go out and run. Now, if it's wintertime, you're going to have to figure out, hey, can we take this boat out? The only way I would not take it out is if the lake was frozen solid and you just couldn't get it there. You can always re-winterize. You can oftentimes find an open area of water to run the boat and get out there. Again, be careful, be safe, but you're better off holding off on a purchase than getting scammed and getting taken advantage of. To have a technician inspect the boat, pull compression, check the gear lube. Are there metal shavings in there? Look at the engine oil. Is it frothy and milky and foamy? An indication that water's getting in the system, which is bad news. Hey, there are some people that will sell a boat that they know have mechanical issues. And they're assuming that you don't know enough about boats to catch it. Those scams are out there. Those people are out there. Now, luckily, there's not many of them, but there's just enough that I don't want to get caught buying somebody else's scam. And so I'm going to do those things. And another one is Boat History Report. We got another one about pricing here coming up, but Boat History Report, I've talked to Caroline. She's involved in our Boat Expo, where we're putting just a bunch of experts together. I've interviewed them and sharing the insights. Surveyors, technicians, people living different boating lifestyles, full-time cruisers, insurance companies, lenders, boat clubs, peer-to-peer rentals. We got a bunch of them out there, and Boat History Report is one that really caught my attention of, hey, this is something that you should do when you find the right boat. Before you pull the trigger, it checks the serial numbers, it runs it against a whole bunch of databases, different state level, federal level, and it will find out, hey, has there been a catastrophic claim on this? Has there been a report of it being stolen? Or are there anything that would cause you to say, hey, I want to walk away from this boat? And I think they're like less than $50. You can pick it up. There's a link in the description that you can use. We get a little bit of money for referring them over. You pay the same amount. It's just a way to help support the channel. But that Boat History Report, I think, is incredibly valuable insurance when you're looking at buying, like my friend James, a $25,000 boat. Hey, spend $50 and make sure that there's no funny business going on. And you can wait until you find the right boat and you've got it all negotiated and then buy it. You don't need to buy it on every single boat, although I think they've got packages where you can buy like 5 lookups for the Haul ID. It's just, again, extra insurance to avoid what Caroline said in the interview, which I thought was interesting, is you'll find hurricane boats after a hurricane. They'll pull them and people will buy them salvage, and then they'll run them up to Kansas, somewhere in the Midwest, and they'll sell them where people aren't even thinking hurricanes, but they transport it. So one of the things it'll show you on that is what states they've been registered. So she said a big red flag is when you see a boat that's been registered in Florida and now it was bought and now it's being sold in Michigan or Ohio or Colorado or wherever. She said that's a big major red flag. Not absolutely that's what happened, but it's a red flag to check a little further. And again, that history report will likely have some more information in it. The other way people can get scammed is by paying too much. People asking just outrageous prices for their boats, and consumers a lot of first-time boaters, they don't know what the value should be. They see this boat, they fall in love with it, they negotiate, and they say, no, we have to have 77,000 for it. And in reality, the boat should sell for around 68. It happens. So a great thing to do is go to NADA Guides. They've got a boat section. You can see it right there. Go to that boat section, go to your power boat. You can pick some of the options. You can see what the engine is, the trailer, and you can update all of that, and you can see what the value is going to be. Now, I'll tell you, don't double count where it's got a bimini top and it's got a canvas cover, and you're buying let's say a Sea Ray 240 Sun Deck. Well, don't put those options in, because almost all Sea Ray 240 Sun Decks have a bimini top and a canvas cover. So don't double dip on the price like some sellers will do to inflate the value of the price that they're asking. Know that their NADA is averaging all those boats that have been sold from their research and giving the price. And so they've already, if almost all of them have that option, it's already been included. It's already been baked into the price, so you can pull that out. And we will talk to you next time. Remember, life truly is better on a boat.